In the history of military aviation, an oft-repeated tale is that of the superb aircraft design that is not accepted into general service and remains to aviation enthusiasts a major example of what might have been. One contender for inclusion in this ever-widening club is the F-20 Tigershark from the Northrop Corporation, a light fighter of such superlative qualities that many commentators still lament the sad fact that this wonderful aircraft was never adopted for service anywhere in the world. The F-20 program showed great promise but was scuppered by government fumbling, a restrictive tender process, and an utterly ruthless American competitor with formidable lobbying powers. The Tigershark was a development of Northrop's F-5G program, which was a project started by the company to compete in the F-X fighter competition of the late 1970s. The F-5G program was initiated by Northrop to investigate new engines and avionics being fitted to their F-5E Tiger II light fighter, and the new aircraft exceeded all expectations with its increased performance and capabilities. The program morphed into the F-20 concept and showed enormous promise in both economical terms and performance. But the private nature of the program, and some confusion, caused by conflicting American priorities, caused the F-20 project to not progress beyond prototyping and testing. The Tigershark eventually lost out to the F-16 Fighting Falcon for USAF orders, and the foreign powers that originally planned to purchase the F-20 lost interest and chose other aircraft instead. Northrop officially canceled the Tigershark program in 1986. In 1961, the U.S. government initiated a program to supply cheap but potent fighter aircraft to allies around the world, in a bid to combat the rising influence of communism. In April 1960, the Northrop contender in this program was selected and became known as the F-5A Freedom Fighter. This unofficial program was formalized as the International Fighter Aircraft IFA program as a result of the widespread introduction of the MiG-21 fishbed, and Northrop commissioned an upgrade of the F-5A to introduce radar and the ability to carry infrared-seeking missiles into combat. This new design, the F-5E Tiger II, was announced as the winner of the IFA competition in November 1970. In the late 1970s, Taiwan was asking the U.S. for a fighter capable of shooting radar-guided missiles, but in an effort to court the mainland Chinese, the Carter administration would not allow the sale of American combat aircraft to Taiwan. The Taiwanese were advised to seek a radar-capable upgrade of the Tiger II, which they were already producing under license. Northrop initiated a program to upgrade the radar in the Tiger II, and the resultant F-5G program also started to test new power plants to increase the performance of the airframe. The F-X program commenced in January 1980 to replace the IFA project, and Northrop started a further upgrade of the F-5G design to compete for this contract. The twin J-85 turbojets of the F-5 were replaced with a single GEF-404 turbofan, which was the same power plant used in the F-18 Hornet and the SA-AB Gripen fighters. The resultant increase in performance was astounding, and with a new multi-mode radar fitted, the resultant aircraft was starting to attract serious interest in America and elsewhere. The USAF approved the formal designation of F-20 in 1982, and the name Tigershark was adopted in 1983. With the inauguration of the Reagan administration in 1981, restrictions on the sale of U.S. combat aircraft were lifted, and the FX program lost a large amount of relevance, but was still allowed to progress with further testing. Further prototypes were constructed, and a rigorous flight testing regime was undertaken. Washington still wanted an affordable and capable fighter for some allied nations to employ, and nations like Morocco, Bahrain and the Republic of Korea expressed much interest in the aircraft to the extent of putting in small orders, but this was dependent on the F-20 being accepted for U.S. service, even if in a limited capacity. Some nations who had contemplated the Tigershark began to order F-16s instead, and the sales program to market the F-20 internationally was the responsibility of the State Department, as required by the terms of the FX program. This caused considerable aggravation at Northrop, as all marketing material had to be submitted to the government for endless review and modification. But the corporation decided not to rock the boat too hard, as the USAF was taking interest in a Northrop project that would eventuate as the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber.